Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good day to the respected judges and audience. I am Hakim from UniSZA, the project owner, and I would also like to acknowledge my supervisor, Associate Professor Dr. Muhammad Nazri, for his guidance and support throughout this project. And in this presentation, I will introduce our proposed innovation called a 5-stage Islamic literary reading tool for teaching and learning. Without further ado, I am starting the presentation right now. My innovation begins with a teaching problem. As we see in many classrooms, literary texts are either read through secular critical tools or through moral reflection, added only at the end. And this creates a gap. And in a critical perspective, students may have learned how to analyze language and power, but Islamically, ethics often appears only as a final comment, not as part of the reading process itself. Thus, my innovation responds to that gap by proposing one integrated reading tool that is critical, structured, and Islamically grounded. We observe that when students do not have a stage reading process, they either jump too quickly to moral judgment or stay trapped at surface summary, and that a genuine Islamic literary reading tool should not treat Islamic ethics as an afterthought, but it should help organize the reading itself across several layers, from textual evidence to ethical evaluation. Our innovation integrates critical discourse analysis, socio-cognitive theory, critical race theory, post-colonial theory, and Muskrit. The key point is that these theories are not used as random theories, but they are arranged with a consequence. The two begins with what does the text say, how does it say it, what does it normalize, who does it privilege, what value hierarchy does it reproduce, and finally, how that hierarchy should be judged through Tawheed, Adil, and Fitrah. Each stage has a distinct task. CDA gives textual evidence. Socio-cognitive theory explains how repeated cues become assumptions. CRT diagnoses unequal credibility and dismissibility. Post-colonial theory reviews the deeper value system of superiority and inferiority. Muthkrit then provides Islamic ethical judgment and repair. And we stress that if any of these stages is removed, something important is lost. For example, without CDA, the tool loses evidence. Without socio-cognitive theory, the tool cannot explain internalization. Without CRT, normativity and structural dismissal disappear from the focus. Without post-colonial theory, the broader hierarchy becomes underread. Without Muskrit, of course, it stops being distinctly Islamic. To show the tool is practical, we apply it to a simple classroom fable, the ant and the grasshopper. At the beginning, the story builds a contrast through language and action. The ant works, stores, and prepares. The grasshopper sings, plays, and dismisses the warning. Then the story creates a mental model that pleasure without foresight is unsafe. Then at the next stage, we ask, who is treated as credible? The ant's warning is correct, but initially the grasshopper behaves as though he can ignore that credibility. After that, the story privileges one mode of being over another, which is discipline responsibility over carefree immediacy. At the final stage, Muskrit helps us judge the story ethically. Pride and responsibility are exposed while justice and moral balance are restored through consequence. As we have shown that the tool itself is both accessible and theoretically defensible, and that even a short fable can make its stages visible. That means students are not asked only what a story means, but they are guided to ask how the meaning is built, how assumptions are formed, how hierarchy is normalized, and how ethical judgment should be made. In conclusion, this innovation transforms Islamic literary reading from a general moral perspective into a structured classroom tool. In this way, the tool contributes not only to literary criticism, but also to innovation in teaching and learning. Jazakumullah khairan, and thank you.